It's not the grandiose, impressive, big gestures that make a difference. It's the small kindnesses of connecting with someone else, of saying thank you. And I've heard thank you is kind of a weird thing here. Is that true? Saying thank you for a job, I've been told. I don't know, I was raised kind of differently, and maybe it's a different barrier, but there are different ways, nonverbal ways of connecting. Are you getting bored? Is this kind of weird, sitting there staring at someone? Keep at it. We do this for at least 5 to 10 minutes in class. It gets uncomfortable, doesn't it? Because we start to worry about, why? Why is it uncomfortable? To explain, why is it uncomfortable? Are you thinking that she's not good? Are you thinking that, Christina? That she's not good? No, she's not thinking that at all. And really, who cares what other people think? Who cares what other people think? Someone that makes me feel like a part of the team with keep looking at each other. That's fantastic. You're doing great. Someone who acknowledges my humanity and someone who is connecting with me in a respectful, non-judgmental way. So respect, connection is an essential ingredient. But what about service? Nothing would get done without the people supporting your vision. And how can you find ways of connecting them with your vision? How do you find a team of people who share what it is that you're passionate about and keep them enthused and focused on what it is you're trying to accomplish as a group, and trusting them, trusting that you've gathered together the group of people who are going to move you all forward together. A good leader can gather a team of diverse talent and trust them with the task to support her, which leads me to my next topic, vision. We have a term in acting when we're searching a character that we want to play that we call the super objective. And so I'm going to relieve you of your duty now, ladies. Thank you so much for demonstrating for us. And we call that what, Layla and Tien? The thing that you want more than anything else in the world, a character? Super objective. Thank you very much. You learned so well. So a character in acting and really in life is determined by what they do. We say that action determines character. It's what you do. Konstantin Stanislavski, who developed a technique about learning the process of acting, said that an actor was either doing something, and if they weren't doing something, they were doing something else. So an actor is always engaged in the next goal. So a super objective is something that gets you up in the morning. What are you studying? Yes, you, in the orange shirt. What's your name? Atifa? Hi, what are you studying, Atifa? Don't think too hard about it. Do you have an undeclared major? For now? Okay, so you're here to explore ideas. So, but you came with an idea. Some of you might be studying science, biology. You might be interested in a degree that's going to help you form an NGO that you have here? Your equivalent of a nonprofit. So what is it that gets you up in the morning? You're pursuing an objective. It's getting at the heart of what motivates a human being. And it can be defined as the person's overreaching goal. And along the way, we break those down into smaller units called objectives or beats. How are you going to achieve that objective? You're here, you've enrolled, you've traveled thousands of miles, faced many obstacles, which is another term we use in acting, something that gets in the way of what you want to do. And drama entails what you do as a human being to confront your obstacles, to overcome them, to achieve your objective. What is your plan? What is your life goal? What is it that you're doing along the way to get you to where you want to be? Because on the way to saving the world, for you, things are going to get in the way. Because the universe just loves to test us, to see if we really mean it, to see if we really want it, and it makes us fight for it. It's really annoying in life, but it makes for great theater and great drama. And I know this may come as a surprise to you, but along your way as you're fighting the good fight, as you're out there being super women in the world, I think also personally it's important to take time to recharge. It's important to take time to rest. It's important to take time to take care of yourself. Because I don't think there's really such a thing as true altruism, when you give and you give and you give and you give, and then eventually you're given out. You understand this. And you all will eventually realize this. You'll think about this, oh yeah, that's what she meant. I had no idea what she was talking about, and I was wondering how long she was going to be talking up there. You deplete yourself, but even a leader has to take time for balance, because believe it or not, in spite of what everyone has told you every single day of your life, you are not perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. So why are you trying so hard? I understand why you're trying hard. It's not that you don't want to pursue excellence in what you do, but perfection, I think, at least in the human experience, that's just kind of crazy. It's a little crazy making. You're trying to be perfect. You're trying to control everything. You're trying to make it work this way. Okay, so maybe life is going to be sometimes about plan B, which might work out a little better than what you planned for, and that's okay. You have many opportunities to get it right, if there's such a thing. But are you enjoying the process? Even when you're exhausted and working hard and sleepless nights and you're up endless hours working on something that's just not coming together, give up the need to be perfect and still move forward anyway and trust it. You are all fabulous, and you're incredible, and you're super women. But when you go out there after graduation and shake up the world, remember, when you're out there trying to achieve your super objective, things go wrong. And which brings me to my next tenet, accountability, taking responsibility for when things go wrong or not the way we intended them to do, because it happens a lot, if not all the time. And as I said, there's no such thing as perfection. Because I think perfection is really a way of acknowledging that we are imperfect as human beings. It's about acknowledging our vulnerability, our sensitivity. It reminds us that we're still human beings. And as we're striving for excellence, it's not that we're searching for perfection, but we're searching for the best and appropriate response to the given circumstances right in front of us. And we respond in a way with integrity. If you mess things up, if you make a mistake, if you hurt somebody along the way, and believe me, if you live long enough, all of us will have the opportunity to play the hero or the villain sometimes in our lives. It's just kind of how it works out that way. Acknowledge your mistakes quickly as possible. Make amends if you can, apologize, and move on. And hopefully the people that respect you and love you and care about what you're doing will accept graciously and move along with you. And that's a beautiful thing when that happens. And sometimes you have to have a parting of ways, and that's okay too, because we can also move on to what serves us individually. That, I think, is a great act of grace and kindness, to have that ability. How am I doing on time? Okay? Okay, great. I haven't done this before, so thank you for your patience. I appreciate this. French painter Eugene Delacroix said over 300 years ago, artists who seek perfection in everything are those who cannot attain anything. Most of you don't know, but most leaders are making it up as they go along. Really, sometimes Margaret knows. Sometimes you just got to keep dancing and vamping. And if you don't know, one of your team members might know, which also is a great thing. Surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. They make you look really good. They make you look really, really, really good. You don't have to, your job isn't to know it all. You don't have to know it all. That's okay. Really, it really is okay. That's why you have smart people around you. If you spent all your life trying to know everything, you'd never get anything done. Go out and do. Acting is about action. Character is about what you do. Get out there in the world and act in spite of it all. As I said before, we consider imperfections to be acknowledgments of our humanity and our vulnerability. It reminds us to be compassionate, considerate, decent human beings. And leaders, I think, at their best, are in service to other people. They're stewards of our trust. Service, to me, is the highest kind of leadership. Service and gratitude will fuel your relationship. Entitlement and expectation will poison it. Steve Maraboli. And a leader is also someone who's going to put themselves out there, and the risks can be huge. And of course, you're going to get all the credit when things go great. And guess what? When things go terribly wrong, you're also going to get all the blame. So welcome to it, y'all. Which brings us to my next point, next to last, fear of failure. Oh my gosh, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail this course. I didn't get it right. I'm going to fail in life. I'm going to fail my friend. I'm going to fail my boss. I'm going to fail my shareholders. Failure, 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 failure. Act anyway. The next tenet of acting is action. The word itself, act. To act implies action. Doing something, just do. Act anyway. There's always a risk involved with whatever you do, especially a leader. By its virtue, you're standing out in front, doing something in front of people, front line of fire. There's great risk involved in trying something different or pushing boundaries, going outside of personal, religious, societal, familial, and familiar comfort zones. It's going to make me feel uncomfortable. I'm going to look stupid. I'm going to be embarrassed. I'm going to make such a fool of myself. I'm such an idiot. I really don't know what I studied for. I'm not going to know. Sometimes these risks are real. They're life and death. When you push a little too much, there can be serious consequences, and you all know this. I don't have to tell you this, right? We fear being laughed at, criticized, shamed, shaming others, being ignored, being looked at, being judged. I'm afraid of, and fill in your own fear here in the blank space provided. Whatever it is that you come in with. Our behavior has been conditioned from birth to fit into the social structure. That's how society works. That's how we all get along. That's how we have, over the millennium of our evolution, we've managed to work together and live together as human beings. But societies change, and change is not always easy or peaceful. In acting training, we spend a lot of time, often years, trying to undo a lot of social conditioning, recognizing it for what it is, so that we can get out of our heads, we can get out of our intellects, and learn how to respond from our heart and our impulses. And then once we do that, we can find a balance of how the heart and the intellect to work together to achieve our goals. And it's the second component, is moving through our fear. We acknowledge it and understand it, and we move through it and we act anyway. It's hard to act when you're worried about feeling stupid or looking bad or being dumb. And really, honestly, nobody cares. If I could tell you, no one really cares what you're afraid of. They're more concerned about what you think of them than what you think other people are thinking about you. Did I just make sense when I said that? I'm just checking in. And if you're wondering if your parents will ever approve of what you're doing, they won't. They'll never approve. You can spend your whole life trying to please your parents. I'm almost 50 and my mother still doesn't approve of more than half of the things that I do. And she wants me to come home so she could continue to raise me. But the damage has been done. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So when are you going to decide even to face up to maybe your greatest fear of disappointing your family? And decide for yourself, what kind of life do you want to lead? What do you value? And respect them and honor them and still act anyway. Honoring yourself, honoring your own integrity and your own core value system, which you will develop, which you will continue to develop. And when we talk about being self-conscious or fear, one of the things I tell the actor, whenever you get nervous or you're worried about being judged, it's because the attention of focus is on yourself. It's called self-consciousness. You're worried about what other people think. I tell you one thing, if you want to be successful in life, if you want to win people over and make them love you, make them more important than you. Put the target of your attention off of yourself and onto the other human being who's in front of you. Notice them. Look at them. Acknowledge them. There's no small things. And you will feel a shift in the room, in the space around you, by honoring the relationship of another human being here, all of you, in this room. Take time to look at each other, to pay attention to each other, to acknowledge each other. For once, take the attention off of worrying about yourself and put the target of your attention onto the person in front of you and see the subtle change that starts to happen, and a powerful change that happens in your relationship with other people, because again, it's about relationship in everything and in anything that you do in your life. So what kind of leader are you going to be? Who will you be in service of? Will your fear